Through, yeah.
But I mean, we could cheat it.
Oh wow.
Not really.
No worries, no worries.
Hey guys, Chris Stathis from Insomniac Games here, bringing you another episode of Beyond the Game. Today, we dig into one of our employees' past and reveal a story that shows it's never too late to follow your dreams. This is the Drew Murray story.
After I graduated from college, I spent a couple years cooking because I was thinking about being a chef.
Really?
Yeah, and worked in a couple of restaurants in Dallas and Austin, and liked it a lot. But it was really hard work. It was hard not ever seeing any of my friends because you're always working when everyone else is off and that kind of thing. And quite frankly, I got pretty tired of being poor. So my dad is a lawyer, and he was always, you can always go back to law school. Law school is awesome. Law school is actually, I'm being totally serious. Law school is a lot of fun. The first year is really hard. I studied a lot, but there were certain parts of the law, like constitutional law, I found like extremely fascinating, and I spent the summer working for the ACLU and just really enjoyed it. It was just, they were very interesting questions to me.
Well, so once you graduated law school, you went and you became a lawyer, and what was the career, the path that you chose as far as that goes?
Got a job at a large law firm, Jones Day. I think it's the second or third largest law firm in the United States.
And they fly all the first-year associates to Washington. When we first started, so we could all get to know each other, and Drew claims that we met there, although I have no recollection of that. He was pretty unhappy being an attorney, and had been for a long time, and sort of, hoping that you would find something that made you happy. I mean, I think you were sort of searching for a long time. I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So here was the big switch. You had the corporate job, being a lawyer, and then everything switched. You dropped it. What happened?
I'd gone for an annual checkup for my doctor, and after that I just hadn't felt real good, and I went back about 12 weeks later, and in those 12 weeks I'd lost 15 pounds. And I'm not a big guy, and 15 pounds is a lot for me. And I thought, I must be sick. I'm dying or something. And I went in, and he did a bunch of tests, and he came out and he said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You're totally depressed. That's it." And I went home and thought about it for a couple of days, and decided, I knew that it was my job, and decided that I was going to quit. And I talked to my now wife, and I said, a couple months, I'm quitting. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I can't do this anymore.
At some point, he had been talking about you sort of noticed the Guildhall first.
I'd heard about it,
Yeah.
and had looked into it, and you'd pushed pretty hard for it.
Yeah, he was a pretty avid gamer, and I don't know. I knew you needed to change of pace, so it was funny. I pushed him pretty hard to do it, and he was.
Actually got kind of.
Yeah, we got in like a fight about it, but then you did it.
And
This was just like a crash course.
it was a hardcore crash course, and I honestly, at the time I started the school, I was the second class to start. So the first group still had a year before they graduated, and so honestly, we had no idea if we were going to get jobs. It was totally untested. And quite frankly, I was scared. Within the first couple of weeks, I wrote down a list of the companies that I wanted to work for. I had my top 5 list, and I was like, okay, I want to end up at one of these five studios. And number one on my list was Insomniac. Brian Allgaier, who's one of the creative directors still at Insomniac, was actually nice enough to give me an interview. And after we talked for, I don't know, an hour or so.
And he actually was quoting some of the things that I had said in an interview, which I thought was kind of cool and creepy at the same time. But he definitely had a lot of talent, but he just didn't have the experience.
Afterwards, he said, "Well, you're utterly unqualified for this job, but we may have a couple junior designer positions opening up in a couple months. Would you be interested in that?" And I was, absolutely. I took the design test, and
So, we knew that his skills as a lawyer were going to be very applicable to being a game designer, and that he would have a great attention to detail. He'd be able to read through lots of design docs and kind of assess, what was the most critical things to look at. And so, just from looking at his test, talking to him as a person, we knew we wanted to hire him on the spot. We offered him the job right there.
And I called Katie from the parking garage downstairs, and I was like, honey, you're not gonna believe it. I just got the job at Insomniac. That's great.
I did not want to move here at all. I wanted to stay in Dallas, but
You're an amazing wife, and we have a great life out here now.
we do have a great life out here.
But
there's no regret.
But it was a little
It was
bumpy
a tough
right
time.
there.
What was it like, and what are some of the projects that really that you worked on and really helped you get to where you are now?
Well, my first project was Resistance 1. I came on right as Resistance 1 was really entering full production. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of rework for me. There's a lot of lessons hard learned, but and a lot of late nights learning them. But it was also really exciting. It was really exciting to be working on something that I hoped, and as it turned out, like millions of people played. They had been really happy with the work I'd done on Resistance, so they actually gave me the first level of the game, which was Metropolis, which it was in the first Ratchet and Clank, and then in Up Your Arsenal. And so I felt like, the sort of the torch had been passed on. I was like, yeah, I'm the torchbearer for Metropolis now, man. This is like next generation Ratchet and Clank. It's gonna be what I want it to be. And we'd gotten pretty far along, and then one day Mark Cerny was like, I don't know, I just feel like there should be some more verticality, just something like sort of chutes and ladders, just kind of up and down, up and down. And that chutes and ladders, it just like triggered something in me, and we ended up putting in a bunch more jump pads and a bunch of grind rails, and out of that sort of developed what was the final Metropolis level. So people say, oh, Drew, it's so great that you switched your career, it's such a bold step. I honestly didn't really feel like I had much of a choice. I didn't feel like I could have, I wasn't going to say I wouldn't survive, but I was just not happy doing what I was doing,
From being this very successful lawyer to having an entry-level job at a company was a big life change. But we could tell that he was very passionate about being a video game designer, and that was his true desire in life, and that's what he really wanted to pursue.
And I think if you have your goal and you're moving towards it and you're doing what you love, I really think that the pieces kind of fall into place. There were so many kind of coincidences and happenstances and bumpy patches and everything along the way, but ultimately everything's worked out, and we've got a great life here. I've got a great job, and I'm really happy.